Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Idaho House Republicans podcast, where you get to learn a little bit more about the representatives that you have sent to the State House. And today we're going to be speaking, we're just privileged to have Representative James Holtzclaw with us. He represents Legislative District 20. He sits in the seat B, and he's in his 7th term. Welcome to the Idaho House Republicans podcast, James Holtzclaw.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you asking me to do this. So honored to serve, and
let's have some fun, right?
Let's do it.
All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Representative Holtzclaw. He is U.S. Air Force. He is the first in his family to get a college degree. Congratulations, from George Fox University, fine university. He was 10 years in the U.S. Air Force, and he did 4 tours of duty. And tell people, you won a couple medals and stuff like that. Tell people what you should tell people about. I know you don't like to brag on yourself. You're not that way, but you did get some medals and commendations. So tell people, come on, Outstanding Airman of the Year.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't
National
really
Defense Medal.
Yeah, I really don't like to talk about too much of that stuff. But I just want you to know how honored I was to serve our country. And, if I was 20, I'd be on the bus right now and I'd do it all over again.
Praise God. Thank you for your service. Anyway, he was recognized for his excellent work, and I did mention that he was Outstanding Airman of the Year. He got a National Defense Medal and other things. Go check out his bio. I'm telling the truth. He is married to a wonderful woman, Louisa, who we love dearly. And you have some kiddos. How many kiddos do you have?
I have one son. He is now going to BSU. He joined the military, the Air Force, right out of high school. He was on the C5, and he did a couple tours over yonder, and he did his 4 years. He came back, and now he's going to school. So proud to have him back in Idaho. The C5 is a mighty large aircraft. It's the biggest one in the
world, I believe.
It's the biggest one.
Yeah. So let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, we'll start with Legislative District 20.
Okay.
Tell us about where Legislative District 20 is and what the constituents of Legislative District 20 care about.
Legislative District 20 is from Eagle Road, Shindon, up to Fairview. It goes all the way to Meridian, and then it cuts back to Ustick, goes all the way to the Canyon County line, and then back down north to Shindon. That's 20.
And what do your constituents care about?
Well, I think my constituents care about family and faith. And
freedom.
And freedom. They care about roads. They care about safety. They care about paying. They appreciate paying taxes, but they want to pay a fair share of their taxes. They care about, like I said, they care about safety. They want to raise their children. And they're in the pursuit of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
And
they love education there. They love their libraries there. They love, all the accoutrements, the parks.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for many years, Meridian has been on one of the fastest growing lists in the whole nation, several years. And it's just a good place to be, and it's still a good place to be, and actually one of the safest places to be in the country. So.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the committees that you're on.
Okay.
What committees are you on?
Well, I am on State Affairs, Transportation and Defense. I chair Commerce and Human Resources. I'm on some other interim committees, CEC committee, and what that does is compensation for employees that work for the state of Idaho.
Okay.
I'm also on the broadband committee, industrial commission, also AI committee. So I'm pretty busy guy, not only while we're down here, but but also throughout the year. We meet periodically through the year, and it keeps me pretty busy. I was actually looking and seeing how many committees I was on, and I was like, wow. I mean, they either must really like me or not like me a bunch. But anyway, the District 20, they get their money's worth with me.
Well, let's put it this way: 7 terms, you've earned you have a certain reputation, and so I think committees probably want you to be on them and your expertise.
Thank you.
Put it, and
You're
so
kind.
much for that part-time legislature, right?
Gosh, no.
You guys only work 3 months a year. No, it's not. It's not the case at all, is it? You're pretty much working on some aspect of state policy almost year-round.
Absolutely. And whether it's making policy, meeting with constituents, constituent services, or committees, ideas, brokering certain ideas between different agencies and people. Um, it's around. It's all year, and one of the best things I really like about what I do is constituent services. And what that does is, someone calls me up and says, I have a problem with, X, Y, and Z. And we drill down to the bottom of that. And it's really fulfilling. And I'm pretty honored to be able to help someone take care of their problem and issue and kind of navigate through the bureaucracy of government.
I forgot to mention, as part of his biography, he's a small business owner. He's a real estate broker, property manager. So it's very appropriate that you'd be on the Commerce Committee and you're the chair of that. And of course, being part of Transportation Defense, the defense side, obviously you're uniquely qualified to do that. So let's talk about the fact, though, that you are the chair of the Commerce and Human Resources Committee. Remind people how a chairman is selected.
Well, I think how chairmen are selected, there's probably a lot of things that go into that, but one is probably knowledge, two is seniority, and three is the ability or the want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been honored to serve as a chairman for a couple of terms. I really love Commerce and Human Resources. We deal with a lot of things, a lot of state agency things, insurance, and the Percy program, and that's just a retirement system within the state of Idaho. We deal with the Industrial Commission. We deal with some really cool things that really impact the state.
But ultimately, it's the Speaker of the House that puts you there.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You've earned the confidence of the Speaker, and you have earned the right to run that committee.
That's correct.
Let's talk about just quickly your military experience.
Okay.
How does that help you as a legislator? Does it?
It absolutely does. When you're in the military, you have all these people from all sorts of places, and all different ideas and egos and whatever. And I think I learned a great skill dealing with those different people, not only from our country but around the world, coming together and working on a mission. And it's a distant second to kind of what we do in relation to that. You have some people that come together with an idea, and and you get everyone on board or the best of your ability. You get them in a room and you try to broker an idea that's beneficial to all, and try to come up with a win-win for everyone. You can't always do that, but I sure do try, and I really give it all I can in order to make all sides happy.
And I imagine that skill set also helps you as chair, right? So what do you feel your role as chair is of a committee in terms of advancing legislation that you believe in?
I think my role is to look at the legislation. Is it constitutional? Is it good for the state? Work with the people that want to run that legislation, and try to come up with the best legislation I can. Now, as a chairman, sometimes I think that people think you hold bills because it's a personal deal or whatever. I don't do that. Never have, never will. But I do look and see if it's best for the state. If it's not good legislation for the state, then I don't want it to come out of my committee, because I don't want to run bad committees or bad legislation out of my committee.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's pivot to some actual bills and some topics that I think you are uniquely qualified to talk about. First of all, let's talk about career technical education, CTE. One thing I appreciate, House Bill 93 came through last year, which was to basically a credit for educational tax credit. To a certain extent, I felt like that took a lot of the air out of the room for all the good that we're doing in public education. Like we've committed $1.5 billion more over the last 10 years into public education. And one of the things I think the legislature should be most proud of is you've spent $170 million over the last 10 years or so, allowing kids in high school to earn dual credits, and they've earned 1.8 million credits, college credits, while they're in high school.
Absolutely.
The legislature spent $170 million doing that, and almost 7% of all the students that are now graduating from high school have some kind of accreditation where they have some certificate, right? And that's just amazing. So talk about CTE, why it's a passion of yours, why you think it's so vital for the Idaho economy, and why you're proud of what the legislature's done there.
I am very proud of that. I think we had no better investment than that. I think, especially with AI and all the others, I think having that either certificate or some kind of job skill when you get out of college is imperative now.
Right.
You have plumbers that are making, tons of money and electricians,
welders,
yep. and all the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, there's no better investment than that we've made in our economy. Because as we go, we're going to continue to need more and more of that. Idaho is growing. I think, with all the data centers and all the rest coming in, Micron, I think we're going to need more welders and plumbers and electricians, with the population growing and just all of it. And I think it's important that we continue to do that because I think that going forward, I think that we're just gonna continue to grow and just surpass the amount of people that can perform those jobs. So I want to continue that.
Well, it's exciting too. As Superintendent of Public Instruction, Debbie Critchfield has been working out with grant programs to, for example, revitalize the next generation of timber people and people flying drones to help with farming and seeding and doing the right things in terms of protecting the crops there's a lot of exciting things happening where we're not only looking forward into what Idaho's economy is going to be, but also protecting the legacy industries that have driven our economy historically.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of exciting things. What a wonderful time to be in Idaho. We have so many cool things that are coming. And I sit on the AI committee too. And, you listen to some of these technologies that are coming, talking about drones, with AI technology, they can use AI to fly these drones and to do all the rest. But we always need someone that's able to negotiate those drones and learn more about that and operate those things in a way that's good. So
I attended a meeting of the Energy Caucus the other day, and they're talking about the potentiality of even the nuclear industry
absolutely
coming to Idaho, and so that's another huge industry that we need to prepare our high schoolers and then post-college to come in to operate and be a part of that potentially explosive new industry in Idaho. So thank you for your work in CTE.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about obviously you're a veteran.
I am.
And there's a bill that's in the Senate, and you're watching how that goes, but it really deals with disability and how the veterans are treated and third-party involvement in that whole process. Tell us about that bill and why you're watching it from the House side and hoping that it makes it to the House side.
Well, not only watching it, but supporting it in a very in a way that I can't explain how important it is that it passes. So when a veteran goes over there and he does his duty, comes back and maybe he got hurt, at that point, they are owed something from this country, right? Like, so let's say they messed up a knee or they got shot or they got brain injury, post-traumatic stress,
some kind of disability,
whatever disability it is. So it's very difficult to navigate that on your own. And what some of these organizations do is they use the veteran and they ask the veteran, hey, give me 10 grand and I'll help you navigate this thing, and I'll get you
The
I'll
disabilities,
promise you
yeah.
a rating, a disability of 100%, and then the veteran gives them the money or mortgages their house or whatever, and they never come through. What this bill will do, it will limit that, and it will put some sideboards on it in a way that the veteran can control it. For one, there's no upfront fees, which is great, right? So, that doesn't mean that the veteran still can't go to the VSO, or they can't, the American Legion can't help, or all these different nonprofits, they can still help. But we just want those bad actors out of this, out of cheating the veterans. And I think that this bill will. So what this bill will do is it will disallow any upfront fees from the veteran.
Right.
And when, in fact, that veteran is rated to whatever that percent is, it's just 5 times the amount. So if you get rated at like 20% disability.
Of a month. Yeah. So that means up to 5 months.
Up to 5 months. Yeah. So I think this will help out veterans a lot. And again, that doesn't mean, we, in the state of Idaho, we have some of the best VSO officers. We just do. And we have one of the best VA medical centers in the country. So proud of the work that those guys are doing. It's definitely a mission and a calling. But I think that this bill will help veterans.
And the bill is being sponsored by Senator Tammy Nichols in the Senate, and Senator Kelly Anthon in the Senate.
Yeah.
And Representative Ted Hill is one of the sponsors here in the House. What I like about it is it says the legislation requires disclosure of free assistance options, written consent from the veteran, protection of personal, financial, and health information, prohibits misleading advertising, guarantees of benefit outcomes, direct solicitations of veterans, use of overseas call centers, and the use of medical professionals to influence claims outcomes. And what I like about this, and I'm glad you're bringing this to everyone's attention, is that really what this should do is flush out the bad players, right? This legislation is sending such a strong signal, like, don't tread on me, right, when it comes to our veterans and taking advantage of them. So thank you for your advocacy of this.
Absolutely. It's saying we love our veterans, don't mess with our veterans, and we're going to take care of them.
And you're right, we do have an excellent veterans hospital here.
One of the best.
So let's talk. You're obviously on the transportation and defense. So let's talk about transportation a little bit. There is an amendment coming through for what's called the STAR bill, which is the Sales Tax Anticipated Revenue Program. It's House Bill 671. It's being advanced by the Majority Leader, Representative Monks.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what that bill does and why it's important.
Well, it's his bill, so I'll give you the kind of
your interpretation,
just a little bit. Yeah,
yes.
My interpretation of it, which is great. We use it before, and I think it's a great way to utilize other people's money for the benefit of the state. So what it will do, it'll have an outfit that they want to come in. It will allow them to put in the infrastructure. The roads, the light posts, the sidewalks, whatever
sewers,
else, sewers, whatever
lights.
else. It'd be upfront cost to them, and then we will allow them to
recoup some of that.
Recoup their money up to I think it's $100 million. So I think that's what the bill will do, up to $100 million.
So the previous bill was a range of $6 million to $35 million.
Right.
6 being the low, 35 being the high. Now it's $5 million to $100 million.
Yeah.
And I think that reflects not only that we want to encourage some even the smaller projects, but also we realize that the magnitude of some of these projects and the cost increases involved. Projects are getting more and more expensive and more complex.
Absolutely. And I think it's a win-win for the state. The state doesn't have any skin in the game,
upfront
right?
Cost.
No upfront cost for them. However, we are getting that infrastructure for free, basically. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one that you are very much behind, and that's House Bill 642, which is a public safety bill talking about catastrophic death benefits. Talk about that bill. It's important.
It is important. So a couple of years ago, I ran a bill, catastrophic injury for EMS or firefighters, cop, if they're on duty and they have catastrophic injury. We would allow them, and we would pay them a one-time benefit of $500,000, and that would help them put in a ramp on their house or whatever needs that they need to, or whatever things they need to do to make that happen, to make their life.
So that was a catastrophic injury.
Injury, yes. So a lot of people don't know this, but like if a firefighter's on duty, or ISP's on duty, or Boise City cops on duty, or whatever, and they get hurt, or if they die in the line of duty, their death benefit's only $100,000. And so we looked at that and was like, well, that's not quite right, especially what happened this summer with the firefighters. And
right.
Yeah.
They were ambushed.
They were ambushed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're working, when you go toward danger for the benefit of someone else and you lose your life, I think that your spouse and your children are left not only without you, but without anyone to help.
And 100,000 is not going to help
just not,
that much.
No, not at all. So we thought it was appropriate to raise that to 500,000. And so what that would do, it would allow the spouse to have 500,000 and a $75,000 a year benefit. And so I think that's a good bill. I'm really proud of that bill, and I think that it's just the right thing to do. I hold dear to my heart someone that's going to die in the pursuit of saving my life. That's the least we could do for these guys.
Well, having served 10 years in the U.S. Air Force, you know a little bit about this. I'm sure you've seen some things and some lives that have been permanently disrupted.
Absolutely.
And people that have lost their lives in protection of our country. And you want to honor those that are protecting us here in Idaho.
Absolutely.
Great bill. Thank you for bringing it.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure.
So let's talk. The last topic is we'll talk about, there's a House Joint Resolution, I think it's called 28, which is a day of fasting and prayer. And you wanted to kind of highlight, there's certain things that we do in the State House that really try to unite everyone. And this is one of those things. Talk about the day of fasting and prayer, and what are we praying and fasting for, Representative Holtzclaw?
Every morning I when I get here, I come through the side gate over here, and I go through the tunnel, and I look at the big, beautiful building, and I just thank God, how I just thank God, and I appreciate the fact that I am honored to come and work in this building. And we say it all the time, what an honor it is, and how wonderful it is to be here and to work in this building. And we ask God all the time for wisdom, wisdom to do what's right. Not in my, for your glory, let's make decisions for you,
right,
for your glory, not for us, and give us wisdom to do that. And that's what this bill really does, or this resolution. It just kind of it asks us to fast and to pray for wisdom, and we need that. We need that in this building. Wisdom is important, and
right.
Quite honestly,
humility and
all the rest, and we need God in the forefront of this thing. I don't think you can do anything that good without God there. So.
Right. And it was unanimously adopted.
Yeah.
Which is great. It brings the whole legislature into one kind of approach.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it also, part of it was praying and fasting for moisture.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what's funny is the minute that was introduced, we've had snow and rain.
Isn't that funny?
It worked.
Isn't that funny?
And it officially doesn't happen until March 1.
March 1. Absolutely. March 1's next Sunday. And so, yeah, we're all going to just fast and pray for wisdom and moisture and
pray for our great state.
And absolutely.
And the freedoms we enjoy.
Absolutely.
Wonderful state.
Yes, it is. The best one in the union.
So we just appreciate all of you for joining us on the Idaho House Republicans podcast. Today, we were really pleased to have James Holtzclaw, who represents Legislative District 20, Seat B. He's in his 7th term. So he's actually one of the more senior members here in the House. And we just thank you for joining us. And as we always say before we sign off, God bless the great state of Idaho. And again, thank you to Representative James Holtzclaw.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Sunrise on the Snake River plain, red, white, and blue in the window pane. Work boots dusty from yesterday, but we're back at it the Idaho way. From